Bob was not known for his moderation, especially when it came to his favorite pastime, drinking. One Friday night, after a few too many beers at his buddy Steve's house, Bob decided it was time for some snacks. Because, clearly, snacks are essential after a few drinks. He stumbled out of Steve's apartment, determined to make it to the grocery store down the street. The problem was, Bob had no idea where he was, or even which way was which. All he knew was that he was hungry, and the fridge at home was empty. With unsteady steps, Bob set off, singing loudly to himself and waving at passing cars as if he were a celebrity. "Hey, look at me! I'm a superstar," he slurred, pointing at a lamppost. He eventually reached the corner store, but the door was locked. Undeterred, Bob tried to open it anyway, jiggling the handle and knocking on the glass. An employee inside shook his head and pointed to a sign. "Closed at midnight." Bob looked at his watch. It was 12:05 a.m. "Ah, just a little late," he mumbled, then turned around and wandered off, determined to find a different way in. On his journey, Bob mistook a statue of a penguin for a real animal, trying to pet it and asking, "Are you hungry, buddy?" A passing dog owner watched in confusion as Bob tried to share his imaginary snacks with the penguin. Finally, he made it to a different store, just as the security guard was locking up. Bob, still oblivious, waved and said, "Hey, buddy, gotta get some chips. Big night." The guard chuckled and said, "You're a little late, my friend." Not one to give up easily, Bob sat on the curb, pulled out his phone, and tried to order snacks online. But instead of typing snacks, he apparently typed snakes, because his order confirmation read, "Delivering 2 snakes to your address." By then, a crowd had gathered, watching this drunken hero mumble to himself and wave at passing cars. Finally, Steve found him, still sitting on the curb, munching on a random handful of leaves he had picked from a nearby shrub. "You okay, buddy?" Steve asked, trying not to laugh. Bob looked up, blinked slowly, and said, "Yeah, man, just on an adventure. Gotta find the snack kingdom." And from that night on, whenever anyone needed a good laugh, they'd just say, "Remember Bob's grocery adventure?" and everyone would smile, because sometimes the funniest stories are the ones about a guy who's a little too drunk to find his way home.